welcome to the August 28th meeting of the Area Planning Commission. Everybody stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Since our secretary's not here, Bill, you take roll, please.
Okay, Bill Mackey, Bob Stewart, A.L. Munson,
Present.
Tim Sparks,
Present.
Darren Price,
Present.
Bill Free,
Present.
Gary Naylor,
Present.
Brian Robb, not present, Greg Kiefaber,
Present.
okay, Greg Westling, Jeff Westling. I just gotta roll with the Gregs for some reason.
Present.
My apologies, sir.
No worries. I would have said I wasn't for sure what you were doing, or I would have just made it easy. But yeah, sorry.
Okay, Bev Rude, not here, and Bill McDaniel, present. Okay, we have a quorum.
All right. We don't have any minutes to approve. So we will jump down to zoning code updates, the accessory uses.
Yep. So all right. So I did the ones that we had some comments with that I was happy with. Those are the ones that are bolded with the underline, bold, and italicized. I'm happy with the language on those. I don't know if anybody else is, but I am. Okay. Then the tapered yard formula, I still need to find language for that one. Oh, Brian Robb is now here.
Sorry, what was that? How are you?
Oh, I still need to work on the tapered yard formula.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fences, and I do think that move fences to the accessory uses makes sense. Okay, now all right, so I just need to add one thing then with the fences, because it's making a differentiating things between the address frontage and then the secondary frontage. So okay, then there's the language for the fences being allowed along the front property line, side property lines. Okay, that's incorrect. Front yard fences, that was wrong, it should be 4 feet. Okay, then adding at the end of the 8 on fences shall not be built within any recorded easements. Making clear it's the responsibility of the property owner to verify the existence of any recorded easements. We already tell people that right now, but we go ahead and I think it won't hurt to formalize it. Okay, fences. Then the one on the security fences, and it's not just along the residential use, but or fence abutting for the prohibited from shall not be a building green strip or buffer areas or fence abutting residentially used parcel, church, schools, daycare, or other use where children are present. Okay, then there's the one with minor accessory uses. This is the one on the front gardens. I'm happy with that language. Okay, I still need to work on the intersection visibility language. It's getting closer, but I'm just looking for language other than the typical site triangle language. I want to simplify that for people. Okay, then then the part on the storage where it gets into the part with the recreation vehicles. That's in the parking because we had that. So that one will be deleted from here because it's in the parking. So far, the one with the manufactured homes. I'm comfortable with the language for the permanent placement. I just need to do some research on the actual dates because I still have an issue with you still having a date on there have been constructed after, say, January 1st, 1981. So I just want to look at alternative language to that.
Okay.
Okay, the temporary placement, well, I still need to work on that. And it's also the, because it's the, with that, and then the time limitations for temporary placement. But since we already have something within the temporary placement in the temporary use, so let me just verify the language and transfer as needed. As needed to the temp use. And then just make a reference for time limitations about the temporary placement, just make reference that those are actually found in the temporary use section.
Right, and then I think we said at the last meeting, the initial would come before the BZA, but any renewals could go just to staff.
Yeah, renewals, staff, okay. Can I make that change in the language?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, at the discretionary plan commission staff for additional 3-year periods. Okay. I added something in there, the language for mobile home parks, and the actual minimum square footage for HUD for manufactured homes. So I think it's appropriate then, because mobile home parks is the, use the minimum square footage for the, for the mobile home, manufactured homes. Okay, then the accessory uses, there's the ones with new provisions. So some of those are still taking additional research, such as, I'm still trying to find, say, get multiple, a few more examples of accessory dwelling units in the Indiana zoning codes, and see what combination or any that might be most appropriate to Fayette County. Okay, then there's the one with the minimum size of accessory uses, buildings from the property line. Okay, I don't know how people feel about it, but because I think all of us have seen some where there's huge pole barns built on a residential parcel that dwarf the dwelling. See, the idea is that, because the original language it was, shall be secondary in size to the dwelling. But I kind of like to tie down something as far as an actual size.
Okay.
And then that comes in with the next part, considering maximum square footage as a percentage of the minimum dwelling footprint or no larger than existing dwelling at a minimum size. Okay, then just add in the language for accessory uses not to be placed in any recorded easement. Yeah. Okay. Now, I know there's a conversation about 2 or 3 years ago about, accessory uses such as pole barns or so on for agricultural accessory uses. And we already do require it's through agreement with on the part of the electric utilities. So they do want inspections so we do the actual permits for electric permits.
Okay.
But then you also have other accessory structures is if and when should there be a permit and what should it just be? Should it just be then a location permit fee of say $25, whatever? And that's just one for members to think of between now and next month. Okay, and I think the home occupation should actually be moved to accessory uses because home occupation really is accessory use. Okay, so then the third one down, and this gets into the question also, what do you mean by subordinate height with regard to area height bulk? Possible provisions on height and say no more than X% of the floor area of the principal use or 1,000 feet, whichever is larger. Okay, then I'm content with the language on that one for the growing of vegetation. But one thing I did add to make clear that it's does not apply, does not override any restrictive governments that prohibit gardens in the front yard. Because we don't have the authority to turn those private agreements over. Okay, here's another one with that statement. Accessory uses may not be placed in any recorded easement. Okay, off-street loading areas for the, parking loading areas for off-street, motor vehicle proper loading areas. Okay, because I think they still haven't had a chance to go ahead and just square that language with the, new parking regulations. But I think we covered that, I think we covered that well. Okay, and, okay, now then with the signs, I gave some thought about that. I think we should leave signs just really in its own location, in its own section. I don't know if anybody agrees with that, but okay. Then I printed a copy of the swimming pool Indiana swimming pool regulations. So I just need to compare things against that. And what I have right here for the pools, that's language from another ordinance. Okay, and a lot of what's in these ordinances do go back to what's in the Indiana swimming pool code. And some of the other ones these other ones below, those are some things that we actually had in ours, such as the setbacks no closer than 10 feet from rear side property lines or, yeah. Okay. The new bit of language is that 1, 2, if it's supplied by a private well, but there's, okay, one. Okay, yeah, no cross connection, making sure. Okay, I may have messed up on this language from verify language. Okay, because the idea is then if it's gonna be public water supply is that states where it needs to be, the water inlet needs to be relative to the pool so that it's, you don't get the potential of cross contamination. Okay, so, and I'm not certain if this is really necessary, number 8. And such pools shall be chemically treated in a manner sufficient to maintain bacterial standards established by provisions of the Indiana State Sanitary Code related to public swimming pools. Is that really necessary?
Well, I think it would be, that in theory would fall to the Board of Health or rather than
Yeah.
your office,
Al-
right?
Also, it's one whereas how are we going to regulate to ensure that
Right.
property owners are actually properly maintaining the chlorination?
Right.
So might be one just to leave in there. Okay, it's language in pretty much every place for private pools, no public address system. Okay, amateur radio sending and receiving antennas. Okay, include the mast of the, up to the maximum height for that zoning district. Anything taller, of course, would require a variance. Okay, fallout shelters, storm shelters, yeah, those should actually require a building permit because it's, public safety thing. Okay, then the residential occupancy by domestic employees. So this could be on, is this a, really it's an accessory dwelling use type thing. And, okay, then the private detached residential carports for storage of motor vehicles. Okay, once again, okay. Once again, I think it's, that might be redundant based on any place else as far as accessory structures. So that might be redundant. Okay. Okay. pretty sure the storage of parking of motor vehicles is in the parking regulations. Okay, they have here down on B, that one right there is also so if that's moved into, this is in the parking regulations, we probably should have that in there if we don't. Because I think there's a big discussion of where those could be allowed on a property, yeah, as far as the driveway goes.
Right.
Okay, okay. Storage of continue unoccupied mobile home, I think that's, yeah, I believe that might be in the parking regulations. Another one I need to cross-reference. Okay, so I'm still working on rewriting the part with the satellite antennas. As I was looking in, the largest standard dish out there is 36 inches. Most are actually smaller. Okay, and per residential lot, does that even make sense to have that restriction? There shall be one. I don't know how many people are gonna have multiple satellite antennas on their property, unless it's a multifamily property. So,
I've seen houses in town with 3 on the roof.
yeah. So, yeah, and so would you say maybe we ought to delete that, Tim?
Apartment complexes and duplexes would fall under that too.
Exactly, yeah. So it's, to me, that's why I have the suggestion that we delete that. I think maybe we should. Okay. Okay. And like I said, I need to revisit the language in this. And, language, okay. And check a couple more. Okay, a couple more codes for this. Okay. Temporary uses. Okay, this is ones which still need to be done through the BZA, and which ones really up front should just be by the staff. Okay, so for example, is temporary office, model home, model apartment is, I think that should just be, in my mind, especially you have on a construction site, you have a temporary office.
Right.
So, I mean, those are there, that's just a given, that's gonna happen. And in my mind, it should probably be something that's, say, approved by staff and not required to go in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay. Same thing as with a non-commercial concrete batching plant. Because the only one I've actually seen has been for here's the one that they had when they're doing the work on the women's community corrections.
Oh, right.
They had a mini batching plant up front.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I've seen along those lines. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a similar thing with the construction yards, temporary construction yards. But I think if we're gonna allow those, my thing is that's typically required as part of the permit. And if anything else, then just have in place the needs for the, particularly the screening if it's adjacent to a residential area. But if someone's making that kind of investment in Connersville, Fayette County, is that, do you want to increase cost and effort on something that might very well be fairly meaningless?
Right.
Okay. Now, I do think that, okay, yeah. I've had second thoughts about with what I wrote initially on number 4. But I think that if they're going to have a special event in a district, it probably should come through the BZA. And that way making sure that there's sufficient parking, sufficient location, because part of that is also then there's requirements they have to have an emergency egress plan that gets approved. And that involves the fire department and the state fire and building. Okay,
Would that include like weather notification and that sort of thing?
oh, yeah, there would require notification to neighboring properties. Yeah, if it's gonna require a public hearing. Okay, so, okay, yeah, and this fifth one right there that is in there with the, okay, because those are already in the signed regulations, number 5. I did have a chance to check on that. Okay, yeah, now this one is similar to that, number 4, is bazaars, carnivals, outdoor tent theater, tent sales, other temporary uses like that should require BZA action because a request came through with me and then the fire chief about someone wants to have a haunted house, but they want to, the materials they want to use, and that's what they're doing is they're getting into a situation where what they want to do actually is going to require sprinkling because they're going to have covered areas. And if you're gonna have something like a haunted house with children, is all the safety plans, and I think everything in it should be in place for to go through the BZA. So I think that's probably necessary to have that still go through the BZA. And,
So that currently does not, right?
yeah, no, so, okay. Okay, temporary mobile home living quarters, accessory use. We do have this in the, okay, well, we've had it in the past in the mobile homes, but it'd be a temporary use with the mobile homes. But now this might be an option too, as we've talked in the past, that going back to the one for Eklund is Gary asked about the size of the requirement. But this might be an opportunity since it's gonna be a temporary use, that might be an appropriate one to, start allowing, say, tiny homes in that condition. So it's definitely gonna be up for more discussion. Okay, temporary place, living for security purposes, that should, I think, still be a BZA approval. Because, because the concern is, and there have been places where that's been done and someone just doesn't finish the dwelling and then they have to decide to stay there and live in it.
Right.
Okay, now then standards, okay. I didn't see any personal changes with the standards. So now, any questions, comments?
So you talk about 18 months on that bill. How does that differentiate from item number 3 on top of page 4 about temporary replacement being 3 years?
Okay, because that's older language right there, okay. All right. Okay, which one's that?
So you're talking about the 18 months on
Number 8?
number 8,
Oh,
on
yeah.
page 8. But
Yeah.
at the top of page 4, you've got time limitations for temporary placement being 3 years and then coming
Okay.
back for approval for 3 years.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think part of that is security purposes versus the other, but you're comfortable with then just being for 3 years anyway for security purposes, but a building permit is 1 year. So, I mean, it's,
And then you put temporary mobile home living quarters as maximum 2 years for number 7.
yep. Yeah, okay.
And that would be contradictory to that as well.
Okay, so, like me to change that to 3 years for both?
Yeah, I would.
All right, easy enough to do. Okay, anything else, any other comments, anything else?
Jim,
Yes, Gary?
back on page 7, number 14, talking about storage of mobile homes.
Yep.
If I understand this right, if the mobile home is, installed,
Yep.
it could sit empty.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's already installed, this would just be related to someone who just brings one onto the property and just kind of dumps it there.
Okay. Is there any way we can address the mobile homes in some of these mobile home parks that are sitting basically abandoned? I mean, it's very obvious if you drive through some of these parks, whether how a mobile home is being lived in or not,
Okay,
and has been lived in or
Yeah.
not.
so,
Is there any way we can address those and maybe get those
okay.
cleaned up and,
Yeah, well, we would need to work with the owners of those mobile homes, because mobile home parks are actually regulated through the Indiana Health Department.
okay,
So there may be some things in the way of doing that, and then the authority to actually order those things removed. And that might need something that's under nuisance ordinance or something of that type, that sort. But there's a possibility, but really, there's a lot of need to check in on that.
well, I just know that if you drive through some of these mobile home
Yeah.
parks, you can easily see that they're being used for catch-alls
Yeah,
and not lived
yeah,
in.
yeah. So,
Do we have a definition of what a mobile home park constitutes? Is it more than 2 mobile homes on
yeah,
adjacent?
there's some language in the definitions.
All right. And then, under fences, page 2, right in the middle, it talks about fences not being abutting. Are we talking about a fence, or are we talking about the barbed wire? Are we talking both?
Okay, which number?
Number 3, right in the center of the page.
Oh, the fences.
Yeah,
Okay, fences.
a
and
fence
business.
abutting a residentially used parcel, school, church, daycare, other. So are we saying that the fence can't be there, or the barbed wire strand for security purposes, or both?
This has to do with the barbed wire fence. Yeah, because it says fences intended for security purpose shall not exceed a maximum height 8 feet plus a maximum of 3 strands of barbed wire, and shall be allowed within any side or rear yards. However, they are not allowed in any green strip or buffer area or fence abutting a residentially used parcel, school, church, daycare, or other use where children are present. So if you'd like, I can try to clean up the language.
And maybe just clean it up just a little bit, if you would.
Okay.
Would they still, I mean, this is saying a maximum height of 8 feet. Could they not go back to the 6-foot yard, or fixed standard 6-foot fence?
Well, yeah, well, this one right here, since it's for the security purpose and for businesses,
Okay.
so, yeah. Yeah, because that's where it comes in, where used for commercial industrial uses.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the key clause on that one.
All right.
Also, Bill, on that page, talking about the intersection visibilities, are we
Yeah.
talking about, all districts, or just basically inside the city limits, or what's that referring to?
Okay, usually it's referred to, you think about it on city streets.
Okay,
But you probably could apply it to out in rural areas also. So,
I'd certainly like to see us try to address the rural areas as well. I mean,
yeah, because.
we've had one fatality in my neighborhood this summer, and
And I believe the county commissioners were even talking about that in one of their last meetings as well.
Yeah, because because it's dangerous on some of those crossroads out there on the country roads.
You would know that, don't you?
well, the biggest problem is we've got too many people that.
She was a part of it.
Yeah. Well, I was coming back from Indianapolis and I had to take take a roundabout route. Then when I got back out to 52, between the weeds that were right there, where they were grown out so much, is I I couldn't see anything coming from the left-hand side. So, I mean, I was afraid I was gonna get nailed, T-bone. So, yeah, it's dangerous. So, yeah, city streets can just get you crunched. Some of the county roads can get you killed.
Bill, do you have a goal for finalizing all of the wording on this?
Okay, I'll have a lot of this other stuff done for, next month. But the other one I'm going to do is, I'm actually gonna start putting it also into code and amendment language. So I'll start getting that language ready for us also.
Okay, thank you.
So, and so then any other things I've talked about moving around, so those other things, and I'll get those moved into here, see what you all think about that in those sections.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions for Bill on this? Okay, if not, we will move on to the director's report. Do I have any questions on the director's report?
Well, you'll see it in the August staff report, but we are up to the point where we are up over, tracking to get up to over, we're now up over averaging 20 per month. So
Okay.
I hope that was, I had hoped that was gonna happen sooner, but it is the last few months, a lot of things, things have slowed down as far as permits go.
Okay.
Motion to accept?
Have a motion to accept the director's report. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right. Anything else? Okay, if not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, have a second? Second. Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No, we didn't ask for anybody from the audience.
Oh, okay,
Just Rogers.
yes.
I wanted to thank Bill for coming out and taking a look at my property where this water was running into. I must apologize for my wife. She came to the door in a nightgown and she wouldn't, but I was in Richmond on a point, but thanks for coming out. And once again, everybody's invited to come out and take a look at this. I did check with the soil conservation, no answers there. So I did get a comment from somebody who said, well, why don't you just dig it up and move the pipe over on their side of the property? And I went, nah, I don't think that's a good idea to do. You know, just we create more problems, so. That's, once again, you're invited to come out and take a look at the property and go through it. That's all I have to say. I still have all the pictures and everything, and the newspaper articles, and the copy of the letter from the attorney.
Okay. Okay. Now, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And we are adjourned. Welcome to the August 28th, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Bill, roll call, please.
Okay, Richie Stevens,
Here.
Jeff Fisher,
Here.
okay, Bill Free,
Present.
Aaron Price,
Present.
okay. Jeff Westland,
Present.
got it right this time.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, Bev Rude. Bill McDaniel. Present. Yes. Physically at least.
Okay, we have no minutes to look at for approval. So we'll move on down to public hearings.
And before we get going with the public hearing, is that, okay, it's, oh, Mr. Jones has every right and reason to be upset with me. It was, and unfortunately, it's been like a lot of people over the last 12 years have had reason to be upset with me because with the trying to do with zoning code complaints. So, this is taking me a lot longer than I wanted to, but a lot of these have taken me a lot longer than I wanted to. So it's somebody not responding in a timely manner. It's, like I said, I deserve blame on this. And the anger is deserved. So I just want to get that clear up front. So this was initially a complaint from last July. And so I did initially then go up there to look at the problem. And as things have happened is that things gathered up, things piled up. It's now, I mean, and it happened, and so like I said, I deserve his anger. Because I did not do this in a timely manner. So this is why we're at right here now with this. When I had Mr. Hughes was starting to get involved with me, Mr. Hughes and I went out over there to then start to take some photographs and then work on putting together the notice of violation. And that's when I contacted then with the Mr. and Mrs. King. Now, the options with when there's a violation is that you can they can remove it within specified period of time. There's a specified period of time to actually appeal the order. That the appeal isn't consistent with the comprehensive plan, the zoning code, or another means of doing so is what the Keens availed themselves to is to attempt to get a variance after the fact. And now then with the Keens, they did not, when they installed that there's a pad right next to their house. Whether it was a garage previously, just a pad, I really don't know, but the pad was there. And that they placed the pad right there on a garage for the part of with Mr. King.
So the pad was already there?
It was existing.
It is existing.
Pre-existing. So then as far as with the pad, it was then they installed the
Carport.
the garage shed, carport, whatever you want to call it. And the Keens explained to me for the reasons why. That's why you had all that information in there. And I specifically asked for permission to provide that information because of the, basically, HIPAA. I don't wish to give people's public health information out publicly unless they grant me the approval to do it, which is what that one letter was for. So that's the background on it. So, in a nutshell. So, for one of the Keens can now start.
Bill, is it if there was a cement pad that had been in existence already, are they allowed to then put a carport there since that pad was already there?
Well,
Is it
no,
grandfathered in or whatnot?
no, the pad itself isn't, it's just like the garage is. Now, using it, if the garage was already there previously, it is. So for example, is, Mr. Jones's and several of the other garages and houses are within inches of property lines. So those are all legal conforming uses, as people like to refer as grandfathered.
Sure.
So it's something that, there's a lot of that in the neighborhood, there's a lot of that in the older neighborhoods.
Right.
So as long as something remains, it stays, because it still is, it's legal.
So there was probably a garage on that pad before?
I really don't know.
No one knows.
Yeah, I didn't look at the history of it or not. But, okay. And ask whoever's gonna speak for Keens.
Okay. Do we have a spokesperson for the Keens? Okay. Please step up and state your name and address, please.
I couldn't hear you.
Okay, state your name and address, please.
Emily Keene, 1609 Ohio Avenue.
Okay. May I just tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here?
Okay. Well, we've only lived there, we've been there, this is the third year. We bought the house 3 years ago. And the cement slab has been there for at least, I'd say, 30, 40 years. And so my husband is a 100% disabled veteran, and he has trouble walking. And as the years, he's a lot worse now than he was when we first moved there. And our garage that's there with the property is at the back of the property, and it's a pretty good little piece to go from the door. And sometimes his legs give out on him. So because of that, that's why we put the carport there. Since the cement slab was already there and Mr. Jones had already cut off 6 inches that he said was on his property, we knew it was, on our property. It's on the property line. But since it had been there so long, we didn't have any idea that you couldn't put anything on it. And so we apologize for that. And in the letter I wrote, I stated that we're sorry that we didn't, but it just never dawned on us that it would have to, couldn't put something on it. So to keep him from having to get out in the weather and everything, get real wet. That was the whole purpose of
Okay,
putting it
can I ask you one question, is where is the door then that you use for Mr. King to get in and out of the house?
It's right there, comes right at, the door we go in and out of goes right into the carport.
Okay.
There's about maybe 2 feet between it and the door.
So there's a slab there. I don't think we have it. I want them to have a full picture. There's a slab there, or maybe you guys are more familiar. Is there a gravel driveway, a concrete driveway? How do you get to a roadway?
Gravel.
Gravel, was that already there?
No.
Okay.
We put that in too,
Okay.
because we wanted it to look nice.
Does this look
didn't
nice?
wanna
You
cobble
strike
it
me as
up.
somebody that makes things look nice. Does this look nice?
Yeah,
Does it look
Chapman-
appropriate?
Chapman put it in for us.
But I mean, it doesn't, you don't drive by, it doesn't look like there's a carport in the middle of the yard that has no business
No,
being there or something.
it's right up against the house.
Jeff, you can see better pictures on the GIS.
I was
If
thinking about
you
doing
look
that.
it up,
Yeah.
you can actually see frontal view of the house.
You can see the pad?
Yes,
I drove by it on the way here and you can clearly see it. And it does look nice. I will admit, it
And it
does look
looks,
nice.
it looks natural.
Yep. It sits, it's a little bit funny because it sits so far back, but it looks like it's just a natural driveway where they put the gravel in.
Yeah, we hired.
It looks like a
Chapman
driveway.
to put that in, that was like $2,000.
Yeah.
So, because I didn't want it to look
Yeah,
yanky.
the property is very well kept. It's a nice piece of property.
Okay, what, did you take a look at that after I talked to you today?
Right before I came here, I drove over there and took a
Okay.
look. Jeff, I could probably show you real easy.
Got it pulled up, but no. So, I think that's the property. Is it that
Yeah.
guy? And then where's the gravel to the, does it go?
Goes this way,
So,
out
okay.
towards, what is that, Virginia Avenue?
That's
Or-
Ohio.
Virginia's behind
Behind it, so that goes
Ohio.
Ohio.
Ohio is
Okay.
the front.
Yes, the drive is coming off of the alley.
Yeah, you pull in.
Okay, your house faces Ohio.
Yes.
Yes.
This is their house, that's the carport, that's the driveway.
Okay.
This is Jonesy's barn or garage right here. That's the carport. It looks like a nice, driveway. And it's a well-kept piece of property.
Do you have anything else you want to say towards the application?
No, I can,
Open it up for public hearing, let's see what the complaints are.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got the hearing for the petition. Do we need to do another one?
I don't know, did you open a public, I think you just brought her up to talk about her application. Did you actually open a public hearing?
Okay. I may not have. Okay.
I did turn, I got statements from his doctor and the thing where the VA.
Those are part of the application. The board all has a copy of those.
All those in there. Okay. All right, so we will open up the public hearing for comments.
You'll get a chance to come back.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Amber Roscoe. I'm an attorney here on behalf of Mr. Jones. Maybe I can be a little helpful because I've got some copies of some pictures that might show you what we got. This picture that I'm going to show you first is to help you confirm that there wasn't a garage there at all, just a concrete pad. So if you'll, I'm not sure what all I would need, so I got a bunch of stuff for you. But this is a picture of the pad as it was when Mr. Jones was doing some landscaping there at his place. So it's pictures. There's another picture here that shows his stuff, and the pictures are from his landscaping.
Sure.
The Keens do have a garage. It's up on a different part of their property. You might be able to see it there, Mr. Price. It's in the aerial view of their property. You can see where there is a garage on their property. And my understanding from my client right now is that's where Mr. Keen currently pulls in and parks his truck most of the time. So when they submitted this variance to you and signed off that they were replacing a previous garage, it's not true. The slab was there as is. Mrs. Keen did mention that when the previous neighbor was there, they had cut off, Mr. Jones says somewhere about 12 inches, Mrs. Keen thought maybe about 6 inches of the concrete pad that did come across. They got the survey there. So I've got a picture here, the nail that goes in, that concrete pad is right up against it there, when they did that work to cut that off. But you guys know, and I know, that if you're gonna build something here, you gotta have building permits to do it, you gotta go about it the right way. And unfortunately, I'm not disagreeing, it does look nice, looks like this. I just only have one copy of this one, but it looks like a nice spot, and I wish they'd gotten the permission to build it as they could, or if it would have been granted at that time. So it's a nice little garage there, but unfortunately, that wall is right up against. So while I understand the idea that, that concrete slab is within the 4 feet where it wouldn't be, maybe it wouldn't be allowed now, or as we're outside the ordinance, the concrete slab is grandfathered in, not worried about that concrete slab at all. But when you put this up, it changes the outside, changes the appearance of the property and the neighboring properties, right? We had flat space, could see, now we don't have that. Now we've got a building that's been erected that it changes the nature of the property, and that's why we have these setback codes. But we're not followed here. I know Mr. Jones went through a lot when he was putting his restaurant in and getting everything ready to go for him. He had to get a bunch of permits and jump through all the hoops. So it's really frustrating to him. I'm sure you can appreciate when his neighbors, who are going to affect his business, don't have to follow the same rules, don't have to follow the same set of standards. So that would be a very tough pill to swallow for Mr. Jones. I'm sure you're aware he has a very active and nice business here that brings a lot to the town, a lot to the city, that we don't want to affect that. You know, if he were going to expand his business at all for maybe some outdoor dining or anything like that, this is where we'd be looking to go. And to have buildings there right up against doesn't seem like it would comport with, it doesn't comport with our zoning code. So that's where we would be in asking you to deny this variance for Mr. Jones.
Can I see the color pictures you
Yeah.
have here?
This is just kind of an up close one, a farther away one, you can see the gravel's not there. And this is kind of a close up. And you can see that the building goes right out, a little over the edge of the concrete slab. And the nail where the pin where the property line is right there. So that's the corner you're seeing that comes over a little bit right here. And so that is the line.
So this is an evergreen tree, is it a hedgerow?
Nope, we got one tree there.
Just a tree.
Yep.
Pass this around a bit. Look at that.
And I have several like Google Map photos from like 2005, 13 to show that there was no garage there, but are we all in agreement that there wasn't a garage there that we're grandfathering in or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't think I would advise the board that this is replacing a garage that was already there, you know. I'm not saying there wasn't a garage at some point in time, but that's not
what this was doing.
That's not the situation, correct? Unless any of you want to get up and argue that you tore a garage down and just replaced it.
Nobody's making the place look better for next door.
You're gonna have the opportunity. You're gonna have the
opportunity.
opportunity to speak, promise, but I'm just asking that question.
He thinks it's nothing. Got a tree out there in the front, dumps trash on us. He ain't perfect, I mean, he's got his problems too, bad.
Okay, I need to, everybody will have their opportunity.
And Mr. Jones isn't arguing that's nothing. I appreciate that you spent money on it. But that's unfortunately why we're here. Put money into something that you can't have, it's tough. And I appreciate that that's not an easy decision for you all, and nor is it an easy pill to swallow for the Keens, but it's not easy for Mr. Jones either. The rest of the stuff that I have is historical stuff, but I don't think anybody's disputing anything historical or where the line is. I think we're okay with that. I think it's just whether we make the Keens follow the rules or not.
If anybody presents during this, but if they present something, then you'll have the chance to rebut that. That's, yeah, but right now, I would say there's not been any disputes about property lines or historical information. Yeah.
Any questions for Mr. Jones or me at this time?
I don't have anything for you at this point, Bill.
I'd just like to know why there's an issue with it.
It's in violation of the ordinance, it's not in the 4-foot setback. Mr. Jones had to follow all these rules. And ostensibly, they knew about the rules. Everybody buys in when you have your closing and you have your deed to your house, you know you gotta follow the zoning code of the municipality of where you live. And they didn't do it, and it affects our real estate.
Any other questions? You guys?
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your consideration.
Okay. Anybody else?
Right to rebuttal, yeah.
Yep.
Michelle Keane Cox, 108 Kill Street, Connersville, Indiana. The teams are my parents. My father was not there the day this was constructed because he had a heart doctor's appointment. I was there overseeing it. Mr. Jones was there every time they came to measure, every time they did anything. He was there the whole time it was being constructed. Not one time did he say anything. Had he came over and said something to me, I would have immediately called my parents, and we probably wouldn't be standing here right now. My parents have probably spent almost $40,000 improving that property. If my father's truck is in the garage, it's because my mother pulled in the driveway, let my father out, and then my mother parked the garage. My father has had 4 heart attacks and quadruple bypass from exposure to Agent Orange while he was in the Vietnam War. This was constructed to make his life easier, not to cause Mr. Jones any problems. Where that garage sits, there's that great big evergreen tree. There is no way to sit outside eating there. You've got a 2-foot space. But as I said, he had every opportunity before it was ever constructed to voice his concerns, and that was never done. So here we are.
Anybody else?
It looks better now than it did with that slab. That slab's busted in there. I mean, the garage hides all that. And he's got plenty of room. He's got a 60-inch big riding lawnmower. He's got plenty of room. He goes down through there. He doesn't have no trouble mowing his yard or anything. I don't know what the problem is. It looks better. If you go up and look at it and then look at the pictures that she gave you, just the slab, it looks a lot better. Of course, that's my opinion.
Well, and also he
We
said
were
something
trying
about-
to improve the value of the place also. We didn't want to do anything that would make the property of less value.
And he said something about it
And
obstructs the view.
his garage is there.
There's no
Of
view
course,
being
it's
obstructed.
grandfathered in. But it's right there, right at the alley. Property line.
The only view being obstructed is he can't see in your kitchen windows now. That's the only
Oh,
view.
okay. Well, if you want to speak, I would ask you to step up and,
Yeah, and don't get anything really, it's getting personal, because that's all irrelevant to this. So,
yeah.
okay. And, let's see, Mr. Jones has wants to rebut the comment.
Okay. Mr. Jones, your attorney have any rebuttal to that?
Just one more thing, Your Honor. Here, Connor. Sorry, I'm used to that.
You're giving them way too much respect.
Yeah, we know, that's way too much
I wasn't
respect,
gonna do
yeah.
that. But not to belabor the point that you brought up the very first time, and I very much appreciate you bringing up that this took a long time. But Mr. Jones first made his complaint back in April of '24.
Yeah.
And they weren't where they are now with their property. So I bet they put a lot into it since Mr. Jones first brought this to the BZA's attention. So that's, I hate to call you out on that one, sir. That's not my,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like that part of my job.
Yeah, well, no, I understand that. It's and.
Mr. Westling will attest that I am the first one to say, my bad, it got put on the bottom of the pack. Things happen, but at this point, I think they invested a lot more money when they didn't know.
Yeah.
It's not Mr. Jones's job to tell his neighbors when there's a zoning violation. It's his job to bring it to your attention and enforce it. So that would.
Yep.
Thank you.
Michelle King, Cox, 108 Kill Street. And the other thing, with the other improvements my parents have done, like when they added a deck, they got a permit. Had they known they were doing something wrong, they would have taken care of it. They are law abiding. I would happen to have to be the one there when the guy came to check on the deck when it was done through the permitting office. They are law-abiding citizens just trying to live in their forever home peacefully.
Yep.
Okay. Any other public comment?
Can I say something back here?
Yes, you may.
They don't have no concern about me trying to get to the house from the alley up there, getting drowned, freezing to death and everything else. Don't amount to nothing to them. I'm a vet. I don't deserve to be treated like dirt. I'm not dirt. Whether he thinks so or not. To me, it's just totally, I don't know what we're doing here. He watches us like a hawk, he peeks around, sneaks around, what are you supposed to do, nothing?
Well, I think at this point, we need to remember that how we think and feel about each other is outside of what we are here to decide. So, while I appreciate everybody's comments, you know, we're getting a little on the personal side here, and that is not what this body is here to do. We're here to answer on this variance request. We get some history, and then make our decision. It's we're kind of that's where that's at. So I will ask again if there's any other public comment.
Do I have to go up there? I just wanted to say, I'd say 75% to 90% of the buildings and houses around have got their garages and everything on a lot of them on the property line. His is like this far off the property line. I mean, I know I understand the grandfathered in of what you're talking about, but there's, you know, there should be, I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but there should be able to be exceptions for health rules and his health and stuff.
Okay. Anything else? All right, close public hearing. All right, so discussion amongst the board.
I look at it as, would we have agreed on it prior to them building it?
I think that's the appropriate interpretation, because I don't think anybody's arguing that they don't need a variance. They clearly need a variance. So I think that's the appropriate way to view it. I mean, you could, yeah. Because we're not arguing whether or not they can do it. They clearly can't do it without a variance, without this board giving it a variance.
Right.
So, yeah, so in other words, look at it, yeah, if you look at it like a blank slate.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, we rarely turn somebody down for a variance. In fact, I don't remember too many of them at all. The trouble I'm having is those rules are put there for a reason, and we're supposed to enforce those rules. And I mean, there's no doubt they've made their place better, and I'm sure it's helping them tremendously. And had they come before, we would have probably said, unless, you know, Mr. Jones had said, no, you can't do that. And I don't know what we'd have done, but we usually pass those things.
Okay, so at this point, I will entertain a motion to either approve or deny the variance.
Can I ask when we make that approval or rejection that we do it based upon the 7 factors and go through the factors on what our findings are?
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to find, where those at?
Yeah, like page 3 and 4 would be a good, Bill's got them on the end, towards the end. here, yeah. You'd start there.
Should I read those, Jim?
Do the
Yeah.
first one at a time and get a vote
So
on
it'd be,
it.
No, we're not gonna do one whole nine vote.
Oh, all of them?
it tells you what.
Okay.
Just whoever's making the motion, that's why they're making the motion, based upon those 7 factors, and go through each one if they find.
Okay, so section 918.5, the board shall approve or deny variances from development standards such as height, bulk, or area of the zoning ordinance. A variance may be approved under this section only upon determination in writing that, 1, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. A, the petitioner proposed findings, see petitioner's variance from development
Just read the
standards.
1 and 2, because the A's and B's are Bill's.
Okay.
Yeah.
2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Number 3, strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulty in the use of the property. Number 4, there are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applicable to the property or to the intended use that do not apply generally to the other property or class of use in the same vicinity and district. Number 5, such variances are necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right possessed by the other property in the same vicinity and district, but which is denied to the property in question. Number 6, granting of such variance will not alter the land use characteristics of the vicinity and district or increase the congestion in the streets. And number 7, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Okay.
After reading all that, I, to be honest, I wrote no on almost all those. I don't know what you guys think. Like, it's not gonna be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. It sets way back.
Bill, what would the cost of the permits have been?
Cost of the permits, okay, there probably would have been about a $150, $175 permit, depending upon number of inspections.
So we need to make a motion to approve or deny an
Exactly,
appeal?
yeah, and yeah, based on these, based on those criteria.
Yeah.
Because what's supposed to happen is it needs to meet all the criteria.
I'll make a motion to approve it, provided that they pay the permits. I think that's fair.
And you're saying, you make that motion because it will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare.
Correct.
That the use and value of adjoining property owners won't be substantially adversely affected.
Correct.
That there's, a variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property, you're taking this specific property into account.
Yes.
That strict application of the ordinance would cause unnecessary hardship in this case. and that the approval does not substantially interfere with the comprehensive plan.
I do.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve with,
I'll second it.
Is that Richie?
okay, so we have a motion and a second. Bill, let's do a roll call vote, please.
All right, okay. Richie Stevens,
Aye.
okay. Jeff Fisher,
Yes.
okay. Bill Free,
Yes.
Darren Price,
Yes.
okay. Passed by a vote of 4-0.
Okay.
Oh, that does include paying the permit,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Treasurer's report.
Okay, yeah, move on down to director's reports. Anybody have any questions for Bill?
Nope.
Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll
Make a
make
motion.
it. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, make a motion.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Now, Jeff, did you notice the answer to your question from 2 months ago?
I saw that.
Yep.
I saw that, yeah. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Mom and Dad didn't hear, they don't understand. It was approved, they can keep it, but they have to pay the $175.
Yeah, the permit fee, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, they're old. They're both looking at me like, what happened?
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.